Hi, everybody, and thank you so much for tuning in today. It means the world to Lily, Trevor, and I. This was a wonderful first directing experience I was able to have, and it is due to Lily and Trevor being wonderfully talented human beings and being so gracious to work with. I appreciated them every step of the way, and I hope you do too in their performance. So today I thought I would explain a little bit about the scene because we're not doing the entire play. So George and Jenny have recently lost their previous relationships. George lost his wife to cancer, and her name is Barbara, and Jenny recently divorced her husband of 6 years, whose name was Gus. And they decide that they're going to take vacations to work through their problems on their own, and then when they come back from their vacations on their own, Leo and Faye, their best friends, decide to set them up on a date. They agree to go and meet for 5 minutes, and if they don't like each other in 5 minutes, then they're going to leave. They end up staying longer than 5 minutes. And so time progresses over a couple weeks, and they get married. And then they go on their honeymoon. And then when they come back from their honeymoon, it's not as they thought it would be. That is the scene we're going to see. It is all about how one copes through trauma, how we rely on each other for help in difficult times, and how we really see the world through other people's eyes when we really love them. And that is what George and Jenny find out. They figure out that they were searching for the right love and it was right in front of them the entire time. They find out that it is okay to rely on the people you care about in difficult situations, and it is perfectly all right to still be coping through a previous experience while you're in a new one. And I think that that is so important for us to take away, especially during this time, that people are there for us. Our friends and family are there for us, and we're going to get through it as a world, one step at a time. So I hope you enjoy this reading of Act 2, Scene 5 of Neil Simon's Chapter 2. His apartment. It is a week later, about 8 p.m. We hear the sound of thunder, then of rain. The door opens.
That was fun. 3 days of rain and 2 days of diarrhea. We should have taken out honeymoon insurance.
Don't forget to put your watch back an hour.
I don't want the hour. Let him keep it. Any mail for me?
You've only been living here 38 seconds.
Are you going to read your mail now?
Yeah, it's from my publisher. He wants some revisions.
You revised in Barbados. Is there anything soft to drink?
Yeah, I think there's some beer in the fridge. I could strain it for you if you'd like.
No, thanks. We have all the strain we can handle. I read somewhere you can tell everything about a person by looking inside his refrigerator. Oh God, is this the man I married? Cold and empty, with a little yogurt?
I'll call the grocer in the morning and have him fill up my personality.
You want to share a half a bottle of opened Coke? None of that annoying fizz to worry about.
How many glasses of wine did you have on the plane?
2,
How many?
4.
You had 7.
I had 6.
And 2 at the airport. That's 8.
All right, it was 8, but it wasn't 7. Don't accuse me of having 7.
You're tight, Jenny.
Oh, that's what's been bothering you all day, George? That I drank too much? I can't help it. I don't like flying. I asked you to hold my hand, but you wouldn't do it, so I drank some wine instead.
I did hold your hand, and while I was holding it, you drank my wine.
All right, George, get it all out. You're angry because I ate your macadamia nuts too, aren't you? and your package of Trident chewing gum. And I read the Time magazine you bought before you. You're sore because I knew what happened to people in the news ahead of you.
Don't mix up my mail, please.
I'm sorry. Pardonnez-moi. I'll revise it later. It's a little glum in here. We need plants. Lots of plants from floor to ceiling. And sunshine. How do we get a little sunshine in here?
I think our best bet is to wait for the morning.
Oh God, humor. At last, humor.
Look, it's been a lousy day. And because of the time difference, we get an extra hour of lousy. Why don't we just write it off and go to bed?
I'm hungry.
We just had dinner on the plane.
Airplane food is not dinner, it's survival. Come on, let's get a chili burger.
I don't want one.
Don't be ridiculous. Everybody wants a chili burger. Come on, George. A big, greasy, non-government inspected burger, dripping in illegal Mexican chili.
Cut it out! Damn it!
I'm sorry.
How many times do I have to tell you? I don't want a goddamn chili hamburger.
The ham is silent, chili burger, like hyphen hill.
Oh, very good. Give the girl 2 gallons of wine and the repartee really gets quick.
Well, never as quick as you, George. I'm just a dumb old country girl from Cleveland.
I noticed. Sitting on the plane with pen poised over the New York Times crossword puzzle for 3.5 hours, without ink ever once touching paper.
I'm sorry, George. Am I not literary enough for you? How's this? Up your syntax.
Well, I'll try it tonight. I've been looking for a thrill.
I've tried everything, including my funniest faces, to get a smile out of you since 8 o'clock this morning.
Why don't we try an hour of quiet?
I tried it in Barbados, and it led to 24 hours of gloom.
Look, I'm walking a very fine line tonight. There are a lot of things I would like to say that would just get us both in trouble. I don't want to deal with it now. Let's just go to bed and hope that the 2 extra strength Tylenol do all they claim to do, okay?
I'd just as soon hear what you had to say.
I don't think you would.
Why don't you be in charge of saying it, and I'll be responsible for not wanting to hear it?
As honeymoons go, I don't think you got much of a break.
Really? I'm sorry if you felt that way. I had an intermittently wonderful time.
Well, I don't know what you experienced in the past. I'm not a honeymoon expert, but personally, I found me unbearably moody.
2 days out of 7 isn't much of a complaint, which I never did. And I think we ought to limit this conversation to present honeymoons,
Why?
because that's what we're living.
You can't get to the present without going through the past.
Jesus, George. Is that what you did in Barbados? Compare honeymoons?
Why don't you ever ask me questions, Jenny? Why do you treat our lives as though there was never a day that happened before we met?
I'm not overly curious, George. If there are things you want to tell me, then tell me. But Christ, does it have to be on our first night in this house?
Oh, Jesus, I was wondering when that perfectly calm exterior was going to crack. Thank God for a little antagonism.
Antagonism? Hell. That's pure fear. This conversation hasn't even started yet, and I'm scared to death.
Why?
I have terrific animal instincts. I know when my life's about to be threatened.
Are you even curious to know who the hell we are? I mean, I think you've got some goddamn romantic image of this man with a tragic past out of Jane Eyre.
You're the one with the writer's imagination, not me.
All right, I'll start. Who is Gus? I would appreciate some biographical information on the man you spent a few important years of your life on. I mean, he's got to be more than a comic figure in a football jersey who pops up in a conversation every time we need a laugh.
I never thought of him as comic.
Really? Well, anyone who's described as pulling the wine cork out of the bottle with his teeth didn't seem like heavyweight material to me.
I wish to hell I knew what you were trying to get at.
Oh, come on, Jenny. Tell me something. Anything. What was your honeymoon like? Would you say your sex life was A, good, B, bad, or C, good and bad? Pick one.
Why are you doing this to me? I don't understand. Do you expect me to stand there and give you a detailed description of what it was like in bed with him? Is that what you want to hear?
Okay, Jenny, forget it.
If you want the truth, I don't think I ever knew the first damn thing about sex. Because what happened to you and me in Barbados was something I never dreamed was possible. I hope you felt the same way, George. You never gave me any cause to doubt it. I'm sorry. This is very painful for me to talk about, but I'll try. George, I'll try anything that's going to make us move closer to each other.
I said forget it.
No, God damn it! You're not going to open me up and walk away from it. I went through one marriage ignorant as hell. At least let me learn from this one. What else? Ask me.
You're doing fine on your own.
Please, George. I'm not going to blow 5 years of analysis in one night because you don't have the nerve to finish what you've started. I've always had problems with confrontation. If my father just looked at me with a curve in his eyebrow, I fell apart. But I swear to God, I'm going to get through this one. No other questions? Well then, can I ask a few?
Why not?
Tell me about Barbara.
She was terrific.
Oh, I know she was pretty. I see enough pictures of her around here. Tell me about your honeymoon. You went to Europe, didn't you?
Paris, London, and Rome. And if you want a romantic description, it was a knockout.
Got the adjectives, George. What about the details? Big room, small room. View of the park overlooking the Seine? Four-poster bed? What was the wallpaper like?
Stop it, Jenny.
Why? What's wrong? Would you rather make out a list what's safe to talk about and what's hands off?
Jesus, I don't have the strength for this kind of thing anymore.
You were doing fine 2 minutes ago.
Sweating like crazy. I'm sorry, Jenny. I don't think I'm up to this tonight.
Why, George? Why is it so painful? What are you feeling now? Do you think I'm expecting you to behave a certain way?
No, I expect it. I expect a full commitment from myself. I did it 12 years ago, but I can't do it now.
I'm in no hurry. What you're giving now is enough for me. I know the rest will come.
How do you know? How the hell did you become so wise and smart? Stop being so goddamn understanding, will you? It bores the crap out of me.
Then what do you want? Bitterness? Anger? Fury? You want me to stand toe-to-toe with you like Barbara did? Well, I'm not Barbara, and I'll be damned if I'm going to try to recreate her life just to make my life work with you. This is our life now, George. And the sooner we start accepting that, the sooner we can get on with this marriage.
No, you're not, Barbara. That's clear enough.
Jesus, George. If you wanted to hurt me, you didn't have to work that hard.
Sorry, but you give me so much room to be cruel, I don't know when to stop.
I never realized that was a fault until now.
I guess it's one of the minor little adjustments you have to make. But I have no worry. You'll make them.
And you resent me for that.
I resent you for everything.
Why, George? Why?
Because I don't feel like making you happy tonight. I don't feel like having a wonderful time. I don't think I wanted a terrifically wonderful honeymoon. You want happiness, Jenny? Find yourself another football player, will ya? I resent everything you want out of marriage that I've already had, and for making me reach so deep inside to find it again. I resent being at L or M and having to go back to A. And most of all, I resent not being able to say in front of you that I miss Barbara so much. Christ. Jenny, I'm sorry. I think I need a little outside assistance.
What do you want to do?
I don't know. I don't want to make any promises I can't keep.
Whatever you want.
We got, as they say in the trade, problems, kid.